The Misadventures of Stash Cairo.
Hey, Stash Cairo. It's a rainy, blah Sunday here at stately Stash Manor in glorious Chiyoda Ward, Tokyo. It's laundry day. It's just ordered a pizza day. It's tell a story day. Just over a year ago, a very, very good friend of mine died of cancer. Daniel. Known him for 35 years, and I thought I'd tell you the story of how we met. Now, before I begin with the story, look, I'm not advocating drunk driving. That's an asshole move. Don't drive drunk. Don't glorify it like I'm about to do it. It's terrible. I'm lucky I didn't get caught. I'm really lucky I didn't hurt anybody. So I'm saying that now, but the reality is this is a 30-some-odd-year-old story. It happened. Let's go back 1985. I was between jobs. I was in my early 20s, probably around 23. I'd been out of the house since I was about 16. I'd been in the service. I'd worked at nightclubs like Larry's Hideaway in Toronto. I had worked in radio, and here I was, out of work, in desperate need of a place to stay. So what do? Hey, I'm with my mom. No glory there, guys. No glory in your early 20s living with your mom, especially when you've already been out of the house for years and years and years. So I had to stay with her, but I had to get a job. Now, radio was not on the table, but I needed a gig in a hurry. Now, just up the street from my mom's house near Royal York subway station was this rinky-dink, useless, tiny security guard company, and they were like a 4-minute walk from my mom's place. So I walked in the door and got myself a job. They put me as my only assignment for this company at a trucking terminal in the South Kingsway in Toronto. And it wasn't a security guard job. Ostensibly it was. Really, it was a weighing the trucks job on the industrial scale, these 18-wheel semis. And I was cheap labor, a de facto laborer. So I stopped wearing my security guard uniform and just wore jeans and a t-shirt, which ultimately got me canned, but that's another story. On Friday night, 6 o'clock or so, the security guard company would shut down. Daniel would drop by the West End to their office, pick up their only car, this security guard company logo emblazoned car, and he would drive all over the city from Friday and then turn it in on Monday morning early, would park the car, go up the office, do the payroll, and go back to the Dufferin Gate Sini area where he lived in Toronto. I had left. I'd been fired from the security guard company. I'd met Daniel. We used to hang together all the time, became great friends. There was a bar not very far from my mom's place in the Kingsway. It was called Bert and Ernie's Fun Food Eatery. So I'm sitting at the bar. It's Friday, and it's a long weekend. It's a holiday weekend in July. And Daniel has picked up the security guard company car, parked it outside, and pops on in to have a beer with me. Daniel meets me at Bert and Ernie's, where we proceed to get raging shit-faced drunk. Badly. For some reason or another, we decide to go down to the House of Lancaster on the Queensway, which is a strip joint. I hate strip joints. I'm not a strip joint guy. Daniel wasn't a strip joint guy. But nonetheless, we wind up at the House of Lancaster, also now departed, and formulate a plan in our alcohol-addled brains. We figure out it's getting up near midnight. And back then in Ontario, bars closed at 1 a.m. And we decided that we really ought to go to the States. Why? Because New York State, the closing time there is 4 a.m. And we wanted to continue drinking. So fair enough, we do. We jump in the car just as 1 o'clock hits. We've got a nice glow on. We're still in that crazy drunk sphere. And head down to the U.S. border. Decide to cross at Niagara Falls, New York, which is a mistake. We get up to the border, and we formulated the plan. To hell with it. To hell with it. We're going to grab some brew in Niagara Falls, and then we're going to take the company car. There's not going to be Daniel driving around checking security guards for the company, for checking time clocks and alarms. No. He's going to take the company car, which was the whole company. That's how small they were. And drive with me to Manhattan, where hijinks would ensue. Now, this is very pre-9/11. Buddy, the U.S. Customs officer, is sleeping. He's out, man. We pull in, look at him, pretend to talk, boom. Continue going right into Niagara Falls, New York, where we've made our first tactical error. Bars in New York close at 4, but Niagara Falls, New York had a local option. Bars there closed at 3. And it was just 3 o'clock in the morning when we got there. Drive into this anonymous bar, about to order some brew. Sorry guys, can't serve you, we're closed. Now, you got to figure, we want to go to New York City with this borrowed company car. We're just at that level where crazy drunk reduces to normal drunk, and this whole quest thing is no longer going to make sense. So I look at the bartender, the joint is empty. I slap a $50 Canadian bill on the bar. Now, back then, $50 Canadian probably worth about $40 US. And this is 1985. I say to the guy, buddy, we're not police. We're not New York State Liquor Authority agents. We're 2 drunken Canadian assholes on a quest to go to Manhattan, and we need some brew, and we need it now. I don't give a shit what you sell me. I don't care. I need 24 bottles of beer, and there's the $50. You keep that, give me a case, and we're on our way. Guy looks around, okay. Hands us 24 bottles in a case of this abomination called Lucky Beer. I guess we were lucky to get it, but Christ, this stuff was terrible. But it's okay, it had alcohol in it. Throw it in the backseat of the car, boom, hit the New York State Thruway, we're on our way to Manhattan. And all we were doing was drinking bottle after bottle as we were zooming up the New York State Thruway towards New York City. It starts to become light, and I can remember there were 4 or 5 girls in this Lincoln go whizzing up beside us. These girls were like 15, 16, 17 years old. They were out with daddy's car. Now, we don't really understand, and this is true of the whole trip, just how intoxicated we were. We figure we're cool, we're suave. Hey girls, come on over, let's party. This look of utter contempt and fuck you, on they go, whatever. Sometime later, we both had to take a leak. Now, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the New York State Thruway is semi-deserted. There's almost no traffic on it. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning, but, nonetheless. We pull off to the shoulder, and we stand on the shoulder with our dicks in our hands, taking a piss, trying to figure out just who can piss the furthest. I guess we must have passed the girls. They come zooming up close. We recognize them. We go running out in the highway with our dicks in our hand and figure, hey, girls. Ah! Zoom. They go running past us. Yeah, that's how intoxicated we were. Jump back in the car. Boom. Keep on going up until we get to the Holland Tunnel. We were just running out of alcohol at this point, and we had to get some in a hurry because the quest was going to stop making sense. I don't know exactly where we parked, but we parked this security guard company car, Ontario license plates, next to a fire hydrant, behind this New York City police community van. They were doing some kind of outreach program. Get out of the car. We don't figure we're going to need it again. We're not thinking straight, and proceed to walk over to Times Square. We got to get some food. So we head into a KFC. Now, what's the best thing in the world that goes with Kentucky Fried Chicken? Of course, crack cocaine. Everybody knows that. First time in my life I ever did crack was in the 2nd floor of the KFC in Manhattan in Times Square. And Danny and I, with this drug dealer, black dude, and a butane pipe. I mean, my hair goes all straight. We get high as Christ. Rock after rock we're smoking. The black guy thinks we're insane. We finally run out of cash, or enough that we can't really spend much more. Drug guy leaves, and we have to go downstairs into Times Square and get ourselves some accommodation. Yeah, Daniel was so high, he fell down the stairs. Woo! Ah! Woo! Woo! Ah! Woo! Ah! It was like one of those old Warner Merry Melodies cartoons, Looney Tunes. He actually, boom, crash. The people in the restaurant staring at him. He gets up, doesn't feel a thing, he's so high. Walk out the door. The next couple of hours are rather convoluted. I don't recall exactly what happened. I remember eating a shawarma, like a kebab. I remember walking around. I remember being in a bar, and somehow it was way uptown. It might have been Harlem, I don't remember. But I remember drinking crazily, way up Broadway, and getting thrown out of that joint, making our way back to Times Square. It's now afternoon, and we had to get some sleep. So back in the 70s, there had been a series of TV commercials for the Milford Plaza, the lullaby of Broadway. And there it is over there. Now, at this point, we probably smell not too ripe, but a little bit ripe. but we're clearly out of our minds on drugs and booze. And I figured, let's get a room at the Milford Plaza. Now, we had a Visa card, Daniel's Visa card. It was dead. He hadn't paid it. He just, before he met me, had moved from Calgary with this unpaid Visa, but it still worked as long as you didn't charge more than $50. This is before the days of automatic credit authorizations. You had to call manually, and under $50, they wouldn't bother. So we had, as long as we kept the bills below 50, we were fine. I remember going into the Milford Plaza Hotel, the security guards looking at us, and I don't know why they're looking at us. I think we're acting normally, not crazy. Hi, we'd like a room. No, we're full. No, but seriously, we'd like a room. No, we're full. We can't have a room? No, get out. So much for the Milford Plaza. I don't remember much of what happened next. I was too high. We got a room at some flea bag hotel. I have a vague memory of buying MDA off a dealer somewhere in the Times Square area. I remember calling up on the hotel phone some escorts, billing them to the Visa card separately multiple times. Even back in '85, there were more than $50. And we partied with these girls for at least a day. 2 white girls. Spent a lot of money. We're doing cash advances. The Cirrus network had just come in, so you could get cash out between countries back then. It was brand new. So we partied for days. We partied literally until we completely ran out of money, and finally one of the bank machines in Times Square sucked Danny's card. That was it. We were out of cash, completely out of cash. Now, I don't know if you know much about the area around New York, but all the roads are toll roads. We had practically nothing. We'd sobered up. We had no more booze. We had no more drugs. The girls were long gone. And what are we going to do? We figure we got to go back to Toronto, but we don't remember where the car is.
Hey, where's my car?
We have no idea where the car was. Completely memoryless. We're wandering in a haze through Times Square going, oh man, we are so screwed. I mean, we could sell the car if we could find it, but no. We're wandering around, and suddenly there's a fire hydrant. There's a security guard company car.
Dude, where's my car? Where's your car, dude? Dude, there's your car.
We drive down to the Port Authority bus depot. I go to see the Port Authority police there because I got to figure a way to get out of New York City without paying a dime in road tolls. I think we had $4 or $5 to our name, like very, very little, almost nothing. And we needed to get to Montreal, which is where Daniel's family lived, borrow some cash off them, and take the 401 to Toronto. Okay. So I go in to talk to the Port Authority police officer, and this dude's seen it all, man, jaded. And I explained, hey, buddy, we got to get to Montreal. Here's the deal. We can't pay a dime in road tolls. How do we get there? Ooh. He fronts a couple other guys, talks. Finally, he starts showing us, you take the Palisades Parkway, you do this, you turn here, you go there, you go upstate. He's giving us this whole convoluted way of getting there. In the interim, this crazy guy comes running into the Port Authority substation, prefix station, whatever it was. Officer, you got to arrest this guy. You got to arrest this guy. What for? He's got a swordfish. Huh? But he's got a swordfish. So? He's eating them. But he's eating a swordfish. Officer goes, yeah, so? He's alive. The swordfish is alive. But he's eating a live swordfish. Officer looks at him and says, was the swordfish protesting? No, nothing I can do. Guy leaves. True. I have the instructions how to get back to, or get to Montreal, then get to Toronto after borrowing money off Daniel's family. And it's bad, man. We're not drunk anymore. We're not high. We realize we're in what is effectively a stolen car. We are filled with ennui and regret. The car, it's not running properly. We've got booze, wrappers, pills, all kinds of crap in the back. And the two of us looking worse than sad, need a bad shave. I believe we had less than $5. Daniel had it. We get up and we're someplace in upstate, who knows, Penyan, Rochester, somewhere like that. The car starts to hem and haw. I'm about to get to the part of the story that nobody believes. And if there's one part of the story I want you to believe, it's this part. the craziest. We pull into a gas station. And as we pull into the gas station, the car runs out of gas. Boop, 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 boop. We didn't have enough money for gas. We had less than $5 maybe. So what do you think was directly across the street from the gas station? New York State off-track betting, a little office. Holy Christ. I said, Daniel, we got to bet the last amount of money on a horse. No goddamn way, I need some smokes. Daniel, I need some smokes. So I believe a deck of cheap smokes cost him about a deuce, which left us with, I think, $2. My memory is poor on this. Daniel's smoking. I don't smoke. We walk across the street to the OTB, and we've got about $2 to put on a horse. I don't know, it's pure guesswork. I don't play the ponies. So we lay the $2 or thereabouts on some anonymous horse in an anonymous race on the nose, and I think it was 5-1 or 6-1. It wasn't huge odds. We won. We won maybe $12, $15. We won enough money to buy enough gas to get us to Montreal. Daniel had a ever-diminishing package of cigarettes. We had enough gas to get us to Montreal. We drive up and up and up. We hit the border at Quebec. And I can remember the Quebec customs officer, the Canadian customs officer, looking down at us. And Daniel's like this. And I'm like this. And the back seat is filled with beer cans, beer bottles, detritus. It was horrible. And I remember the guy looking down going, citizenship? Canadians. And he says, you got anything to declare? And I remember looking at him going, no. Go. And he lets us across the border. We drove to Daniel's family's house in Chateauguay. They laid about $100 on him, bought more gas, drove the car back to Toronto. Now, Royal York and Bloor. I thanked him warmly, walked home to my mother's house where I passed out on the bed. It was, oh God, early in the morning on the long weekend, or maybe the long weekend was over. My memory actually just diverges at this point. Parked the car. I'd left to go to my mom's house. Evidently, Daniel just put the keys for the car in the office, did not do the payroll, and left for his house and never went back and never contacted them ever again. They'd phone him, but he wouldn't answer his phone. This is before call ID even. So you had no way of knowing who it was. He just didn't answer his phone, period, including me. He never went back, didn't collect his check, nothing. And I have to imagine, although I don't know, they would look at the odometer to the amount of miles that had been put on that car and the state of it. There were dings on it. It stunk. There was beer cans and sundry all over the place. I have to wonder if they ever figured out exactly what the hell happened. So my late buddy Daniel, it was a pleasure. That one's for you.